Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the Knitting Nirvana video podcast. I'm trying something a little new. I'm hoping that I'm a little bit further away from the camera. I got some feedback that with the first episode, well, yeah, when I uploaded it to YouTube, somehow it like zoomed in and cropped me. So it was kind of like just my head instead of being able to see like the citron I was wearing and such. So we'll give it another shot. Hopefully this works a little bit better. I'm not so thrilled with the way my lighting is showing up on my monitor as I'm recording. So we'll see about that too. I'll see what I can play with. I had another light on. It cast a red kind of, like a red tint to everything, which I don't think was so good either. So we'll see. I'm still playing, still getting used to all this. I'm also trying iMovie for recording today instead of the photo booth, so we'll see how that works. Maybe that'll make things a little bit easier too. So we'll see. First up, thank you so much for all the wonderful positive comments and promoting of my first episode. I really appreciate it. Saucy Jill put some stuff out on Ravelry that I appreciate, and then Susan B. Anderson talked about it on her podcast, and then I can't remember the name. She's from Keene, New Hampshire. I'm sorry, but another person put a post up on the podcast group on Ravelry, and I got a lot of hits from there. So thank you so much, everyone. And the overwhelming request was that the camera angle be back a little bit. So I'm definitely working on that. Couldn't agree more. So we'll see how it goes this time around. So, works in progress. I have pretty much nothing to show you. Today's Sunday, there's an open house at our local yarn shop for all the new classes coming up. So I've been working very diligently to get some things done so I can bring in some shop samples today. I do have things on my needles, but it's nothing I've really been working on lately because I've really been trying to get this done. So I'll go straight to finished objects. So I'm doing kind of... sorry about the rattling as I open my Ziploc bag, a series from the Itty Bitty Hats book, which is right here. I showed you last week. Oh, that's good. Now see, improvements already. iMovie, this shows up the way it's supposed to. Last week I was using Photo Booth, and it was like a mirror image, so I'm liking iMovie better already. Sorry, I digress. Here's the little football hat I was working on last week. Sorry, getting used to how to best put it in front of the camera. So if you remember, I had just started striping the green and finished it out in the green. I made the little football applique. My embroidery skills are definitely getting better. When I made this hat 3 years ago in blue and brown for my son, it didn't look like a football. It was abstract, I like to say. And I love this little topper. I think this is pretty cute. So yeah, I really like this hat. Very cute. So this will be going to the store today. I showed you last week, I showed you the apple hat. That will be heading up there as well from the Spud and Chloe Says blog. I have a pumpkin hat. This I made for my son for last year. I just love it. Absolutely love it. This is probably one of my favorite patterns. So this pumpkin hat, again, I made that last year. My son wore it. Oh, I wanted to say, anytime like this leaf or the football applique right here, make sure that when you stitch them on, you stitch it on really well. And then when you think you've stitched it on really well, put some more stitches in there just to make sure. My mom had my son out one time last year, and the leaf fell right off. She didn't even know it, and luckily some nice person picked it up and said to her, "Oh, you lost your leaf on your pumpkin." And so I was able to reattach it. I even think it's a good idea if you've got two ends left over, like if the leaf, actually with this one you don't, because I like this part kind of sticking up, but even taking another scrap piece of this green yarn and leave one end on the inside of the hat, come out, and then put it back in through again, and take those two ends and make a little knot on the inside of the hat. It's just, especially with kids, and that's actually what I did, so that there's just no way it's going to come off. I I say that, watch, it'll come off. But anyhow, I did my best. With kids, you know, kids are rough and they like to play with things. They like to tug on things, and even when they're not, just how kids are. They're, you know, they're running around and active, and if they pull their hat off by the leaf, or, you know, who knows. And we spend so much time on these, and we really like to do them. And I like to use really good quality yarn as well, so I really like to have it last as long as possible. Of course, I want it worn, without a doubt, but I do want it to at least be able to stay together, even if it all looks worn together. So any of those extra little appliques, I've learned my lesson. I really have to attach them super well, and if I can work a knot, it's the inside of the hat, no one's ever going to see it, it's way up on the crown. Who cares? Who cares? I know some people are anti-knots and knitting, but when it comes to appliques for kids stuff, I think it's the best way to go. A friend actually made this for me when I was pregnant with my son, so I was going to bring that up too, which I think is a great way of showing just another fabric. This was Debbie Bliss Cathay, I believe. Again, I didn't make it, but I think that that's what she used. And then she used the stem and the leaf. She did the same color just to save on not having to go out and buy another color of yarn, which I think is a great idea to help with the budget. And this is the candy cane stripe hat. My son has a December birthday, so when he was born, when he was actually in the hospital, he wore this hat for his newborn pictures, and a red and white little striped one-piece pajama outfit. The tassel's long gone. Again, a lesson learned. I didn't attach these things very well, and that was a newborn and it fell off, so you can imagine how much easier things fall off with older kids. So anyhow, I just love this hat. I think it's one of the best things ever. Yeah, so lots of good memories. And then this one I actually got in a itty bitty swap last year, and this will fit my son this year too. This is made out of it's some sort of rowan yarns. It's just beautiful. So nice and soft. It's nice and big. It'll fit him this year too. I love the 3-color stripe. It's a red, white, and kind of a pale, almost like a sage green. Really cute. So I'm going to bring this up as well to show. So I really like having, like, this is the same pattern, but look, you know, look how different these hats are. I like having that so that people can kind of imagine for themselves this as well. You know, same pattern, but they really have a very, very different look. So people can kind of imagine things for themselves. The other thing I have been working on for class samples is this is a little teeny tiny swatch of the stitches used for the clapot-tee. Clapot-tee is that knitting pattern that went absolutely viral a couple years back. Actually, it's quite a while ago now, 2006 maybe. Wow, time flies. It's by Kate Gilbert. It's in Knitty, free pattern. Love Knitty, great online magazine. Yeah, it's a fun stitch and result. I love it. I did the sample in fingering weight, lace weight perhaps, as a knit picks, and it's just, I just wanted to give people an idea of what it looks like, because I don't think that the picture does it justice. It's a really cool pattern. And I did block this out. Now my clapot-tee, which I love my clapot-tee. I wear it all the time, usually as a scarf. This is, let's see, the right side facing. I did not block this out. I decided that I liked the way it kind of scrunched up and it almost like striped. I followed the pattern exactly. This is Blue Moon Fiber Arts. I think it's Seduction is the name of it. I'll look it up, make sure it's right in the show notes. Colorways Puck's Mischief. This was, I want to say I did 3 skeins of it, or maybe into the 3rd. Again, I'll have it right in the show notes. Whatever the show notes say is what it really is. And I just love this. I wear it all the time. I wear it as a scarf. Again, I didn't block it. I like the way it just has that kind of almost a stripy look. You can see it as I wear it. It kind of creates like a texture. And a lot of the time I kind of just